Upset is looking like an absolute monster right now. He's currently in my running for probably the best ADC in EU, playing even better than I feel like Kalist has this split. But with his amazing resurgence, I wanted to draw some comparisons to his lackluster 2024 and why he's playing so much better, and having some examples of the exact things that I feel like he's improved upon so much. One of the biggest things that I feel like he struggled with a lot last year was the KDA Allegations. He would play exclusively for KDA, and I have a pretty good theory as to why this was, because I have played on bad teams, as probably many other pro players can relate to, and you kind of have two different ways of dealing with it. One is that you try to do absolutely everything you can towards winning, and you throw away trying to look good, or you just exclusively try to look good and just go for a way less risky plays, which I think is kind of what Upset did. I also think that he lost confidence in himself, and that showed through his mechanical ceiling being much, much lower than it has been this year and that it was previously. And I went through this a little bit myself as well, where I was playing on a team that I thought was really, really bad, and I thought to myself, the only way I can make the best out of this experience is by looking really good myself and playing the best I can. But that included not really trusting my team, which made me a lot more risk averse, and kind of playing for KDA that way. If you start to feel like your team is really bad and they don't really know what they're doing, it's really hard to trust them fully when they go for an engage, in which case two things happen. One is the engage just never really gonna work because the carries aren't following, but also you just continuously then stop trusting them even more because the engages are never working, and it's kind of like this deadly spiral. And that's what I think kind of happened with KC, and why he went back to back to back at 10th place quite a few times. And we did have some funny memes regarding it. The whole CopyPasta, enemy detected on screen, Upset KDA at risk, retreat immediately, with Upset flying away in the distance here, if I move my webcam. And it's pretty funny, I won't lie, it's pretty funny. But I actually rewatched this fight, and I don't think it was really Upset's bad. This fight, I don't think it was really Upset's bad. But I know Force Within rather, was a big hater of Upset. And also this one is very funny. Live look at Upset during that team fight. I mean, it is funny. It is funny. But I have some examples here that I feel like is a little bit better of how his mechanics kind of faltered. And also just some of the stats, like he was 221 at one point in his last 23 games, which is insanity. And most of his stats are actually pretty good, which kind of goes to show how he was trying to maintain a pretty good KDA in even games that ended up not going their way. And now he's primed to get first place with Fnatic, or at least top 2, which is really quite insane. And one of the things that he also got criticized a lot for was the fact that he didn't have that clutch factor in him, which I really think is one of the things that he's been developing this split. Here is a team fight that was from 2024 summer, where I think already Upset was starting to play a little bit better than he was in spring. But I think you can still see that his mechanics are quite a bit worse than how I feel like they are right now. First of all, Malphite ulti's in. Good ulti from Upset. Upset dashes forward. I don't like. Why would you waste your dash like this? You want to just keep playing max range, and then the reason why I want him to keep his dash is because now he keeps clicking forward, and now he does not have his dash to reposition. Ideally here, you would really want to have Seri E up right now so that you could dash to the left here, because if you can dash to the left, then you can end up around here, still being able to DPS the Malphite, while being further away from all these carries, and being able to do the most damage while being the safest. But because he doesn't have E, he now needs to react to the Alistar Q flash, which still, I think, you know, Upset is a good player, he can do. But in this case, he doesn't react to the Alistar Q flash, and he gets W'd into tower and gets punted. Then he tries to flash away from the Alistar E, doesn't get it. But here again now, I feel like Upset normally would calmly be able to dodge this Morgana Q, but instead he just keeps auto-attacking, 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 gets hit by the Morgana Q, dies. And this is a team fight, 100% Seri can carry, right? 100% Seri can carry. But he gets hit by the Alistar combo, gets hit by the Morgana Q, and doesn't position like max range for the best possible spacing, and ends up falling down. And then we have one of the, like, in my opinion, one of the most egregious team fights I've ever seen from Upset. This is also from 2024. And, you know, I'll get into the glaze, but first I need to give my fair share of critique to actually tell the story that this is a resurgence. Upset was not always playing well, by the way. He wasn't. He wasn't just playing well and just on a bad team. He was making really silly mistakes. And in this clip, he does a lot of mistakes. First of all, why is he walking topside? His whole team is bot side. He should be hovering his team here, and he should be getting the wave from here. That's the first thing. Then the second thing, once he sees the Tristana, he wastes his W. You shouldn't W like this. You should W on CC. He should hold it, even if it hits Vithio. It does 10 damage. Much better to use it on the CC target and use it as a finishing tool. Then he tries to trade with Tristana. He's 4-0. I know he's 4-0. And maybe standard ADC will be like, oh, he should be able to fight him. No, you can't. It's low 12 Tristana. So then he loses that trade and gets poked out. And then his team finds a pretty decent engage. It's not the best engage maybe, but look at his ulti. What is this ulti, brother? In the middle of everybody? Melee Kai'Sa. So now he's stuck completely in the middle of all of them, has to flash out. He has no W because he used it earlier. And he can't do really any auto attacks. So it's just really bad. But instead, if he instead holds the ulti for the Vi ult, or if he ultis way further to the right, like if he can ulti, if he walks further down and he can ulti all the way here, he could just finish off Karsi, kite out to the right, and really carry this fight again. Like this is a fight, in my opinion, that as a Kai'Sa, you can really carry. You can really carry. He's 4-0 here. You can for sure carry this fight. And it might look like it was just his engage trolling him, but I think he just misplays it and makes it really fucked up. Because Karsi should for sure die here. Maybe it's still going to be a bad fight, but for sure it's going to be way better than this, right? You even got the 3-man Skarner ult here, but it doesn't matter, the fight's already lost. If we contrast that with some of his team fights from the last few weekends here. Now I want to go through some of the really positive examples of Upset that I've seen where his mechanics and instincts for playing aggressive have just been way better. And just the kind of clutch factor that he's bringing in has been really nice to see. And I think a huge part of this comes with Mickix. Mickix and Hylissang, in my opinion, the two magicians of bot lane that made their ADCs so much better. Hylissang, less so anymore, kind of washed, you know how it is. But they're both incredibly good at making their ADCs click forward, and I think it's what players like Upset, players like Reckless really need to shine so much brighter. That's why Upset Hilly looked so good, and that's why Upset and Mickey is looking so damn good. Mickey is a pretty quiet person, but he's also still very demanding, and I think he really brings out the best qualities of Upset, which is really nice to see. Here we have Fnatic engaging onto Irrelevant, and the fight breaks out. Upset catches the mid wave, and then he's gonna rotate down to this bottom lane with the Kai'Sa ultimate looking to make an impact. And now I feel like if this was KC Upset, he is never going to ulti in here, right? Because this doesn't really look like that much of a winning fight. It's like, yeah, Rumble is going to die, but, you know, what is the Kai'Sa going to do here, right? But Upset instead, now he goes in, melee mode, somehow doesn't get hit by the Rakan W, is able to dodge that out, and then takes down the Rakan, takes down the Tristana. Everybody ends up dying because of Upset going in here. And if he doesn't go in here, probably, most likely, it's just going to be a kill on the Rumble and no kills on anybody else. But instead, it's a 3-0 and a huge swing for Fnatic. And these are the type of moments that I feel like you see Upset now go for that he normally would not go for. And then here, Fnatic just do a crazy good Nash sequence, but let's get to the next Upset play. So here, Upset gets actually caught on mid lane. And this might sound like Turbo Cope, but I don't mind it. If you watch Viper, if you watch Ruler, if you watch any of the best ADCs in the world, they do get caught sometimes. The best ADCs in the world do not play perfect. They play very close to perfection, but they're always towing the line. Because there is, in my opinion, the best way to view aggression in League is like there's a line. You want to play on the edge of that line between inting and too safe. There's always this kind of balance between how far up can you click before it's bad. And Upset before was playing way too far back, but now he's more finding that limit of playing further ahead. And that will result in plays like these, where you just get Rumble ulted, into Jhin ulted, and you're just dead. But it'll also result in moments like these, where Upset is going for it, again, ulting in a normal moment where I feel like I'd never see him ulti. He's essentially going in 1v4, takes down Nuke, hits the W onto Ice, then flashes over the wall. And these types of plays that he's going for, it's just so beautiful. He snipes out the Rakan as well. I think he also even hits a W onto 113. Let's see. Even hits the W onto 113. Here Ice has really good movement and doesn't give him the auto. And then Upset actually tanks the Jhin W to try to get the W onto Jhin, but Ice dodges it, and then Ice hits the Jhin ult. I mean, Ice played this wonderfully as well. Ice has been absolutely elo held this split, which has been really sad for him. He played amazing this game, but Upset's clutch factor, there's one more play I just want to talk about with Upset that was absolutely crazy, where he completely smurfed it. Although he also played this fight very, very well. This was the Drake Soul fight, where Nuke was trying to kill Upset really, really hard. I want you just to keep your eyes on Upset. What he does really well this fight is just buying time and space. So Nuke is trying to kill him no matter what. Upset gets some damage onto 113, 113 ultis. Nuke, for some reason, ultis Mickey and Upset away. Kind of a mistake from Nuke. But then Oscar Rinin ends up going to Sonya's. Mickey gets a great engage. Upset hits the W, has to kite back, gets some damage onto the Rumble, has to flash over the wall. But then when Tristana jumps over the wall, he actually realizes, oh shit, I can ulti back in, hits the W onto the Rumble, kills the Rumble, hits the W onto the Xin Zhao, then kites away from the Tristana to not give her the kill, then tries the W again, but is still spacing the Tristana, so he can't end up going down, and he ends up being the one to actually save the game when they try to end. Mickey's respawns, and he holds the Nexus Tower. And this is just holds the Nexus, because now the Nexus Tower go down. And they could have ended here if BDS played it a little bit better, but the point being just a great showcasing of aggression and mechanics and outplaying and clutch factor that's actually allowing Upset to make an impact in these games. And that is the last team fight of the game here, where Upset puts on the carry pants and he gets serious. First, he has to kite back a little bit because Nuke is clicking up, right? So you can see he's spacing around Tristana. Tristana has much more range. And when Tristana clicks up, Kai'Sa needs to click back. You can see it's quite ironic because it's like the opposite of this play, where when Tristana was clicking up, Upset tried to trade with him, but now he knows, you don't win that. You don't win that as Kai'Sa. You don't win that. So he clicks back, tries to get some damage onto 113, but he can't. Then he gets some damage onto Paris. Paris is going too deep. Paris ends up going down. Lands the W onto Tristana. Then gets the kill onto Tristana. Gets the kill onto the Rumble. That's just GG, baby. That's just GG. It was a valiant effort from Ice, but a great team fighting from Upset that really sealed the deal this game. And for me, these games from Upset have just been so much better this split and last split, but he's really especially shaping up to be an absolute monster this split mechanically. And team fighting wise, laning wise, him and Mickey are great, and it's a pleasure to watch them play. I'm really excited to see Fnatic in playoffs. I want to see that Kalist versus Upset showdown in playoffs. For me, that's the highlight for sure. And I'm overall really happy for Upset that he's playing much, much better. It was sad to see him just kind of slowly falling off and becoming a shell of himself, it felt like, where he just wasn't really expressing himself very well in game. While now, I feel like we're seeing a renewed Upset, a revitalized Upset, with the pairing of Mickey, my GOAT, doing so incredibly well. And yeah, I'm really excited for playoffs, and I hope you guys are too. Catch me on the LEC desk, either casting or analyst desk, wherever I will be. And if you're more interested in learning from me, check out my courses, links down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Also, second channel. We have a second channel now for stream highlights, for educational videos, and all that jazz. So go check that out, links down below.